Good morning and welcome to ABC News Breakfast. It's Monday, the 28th of October. I'm Michael Rowland.
And I'm Virginia Trioli. Good morning. These are our top stories today. The spy scandal deepens. Barack Obama accused of staying silent while America spied on Germany.
Eddie Obeid faces another corruption inquiry, this time over cafe licences.
Says he, babe, take a walk on the wild side.
Rock legend Lou Reed dies at the age of 71.
And Sebastian Vettel clinches his fourth straight World Championship with victory in India. Virginia, former New South Wales Labor Minister Eddie Obeid is facing a new corruption inquiry today. Mr Obeid is accused of misusing his position to influence the issuing of lucrative cafe licences at Sydney Circular Quay. The inquiry will also look at allegations surrounding the granting of water licences on Mr Obeid's farm. The hearing is expected to run for 3 weeks. The pharmaceutical benefit scheme has been expanded to include 50 new and amended drugs and technologies. They include medicines to treat melanoma, pancreatic cancer, multiple sclerosis and osteoporosis. The Federal Health Minister, Peter Dutton, says around 230,000 people are expected to benefit from the subsidies. A series of bomb blasts has killed dozens of people in Iraq. Several car bombs exploded over a 30-minute period in the capital Baghdad, killing at least 38 people, mainly in Shiite areas. In the northern city of Mosul, a suicide bomber blew himself up near a group of soldiers, killing at least 12 people. In the past month, sectarian violence has claimed more than 600 lives. The Sydney Opera House has marked its 40th birthday in grand style. Thousands of people have attended a gala concert to end a week of birthday celebrations. Denmark's Crown Prince Frederik and Princess Mary were among the guests of honour. The night culminated with the Sydney Symphony Orchestra performing Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, which was played at the official opening back in 1973. And the rock music legend Lou Reed has died at the age of 71. That's according to the Rolling Stone magazine. The Velvet Underground frontman is credited with shaping a new wave of rock music in the 1960s and continued to be a hugely successful songwriter and guitarist. Rolling Stone describes the Velvet Underground as the most influential American rock band of all time. Reed's cause of death has so far not been released, but he had a liver transplant back in May.
Of us this morning who will react with absolute disbelief to that news. He and Laurie Anderson, of course, the well-known performance artist, a fixture on the cultural New York scene for decades now. And he was an ornery and difficult man.
Yeah, a very tough interviewee.
Very tough. I don't think I would have the chutzpah to actually front up and speak to him. He'd scare the life out of me. But a fantastic musician, writer, singer, performer, and we'll share a few of Lou Reed's great moments with you throughout this morning. There's James Dean. Look at the front pages of the Monday newspapers now, starting with The Guardian Australia today, and it's reporting on the damage to relations between the United States and Germany over those new claims about the extent that intelligence agencies have been monitoring Chancellor Merkel's mobile phone.
A study of 35 leading economists in the Sydney Morning Herald reveals only 2 support Tony Abbott's direct action climate change policy.
The Age also details the results of that survey. 30 of those economists favour the existing carbon price scheme and 3 reject both schemes.
In the Mercury, the Tasmanian opposition leader Will Hodgman is talking up the benefits of a majority government. He says Labor voters should switch to the Liberal Party to avoid another minority government where the Greens play a strong role.
The ANZ Banking Group has sounded out Future Fund Executive Chairman David Gonski about becoming the bank's next chairman. That's on the front page of the Financial Review.
The Australian says food producers are seeking help from the federal government to protect the industry from the spike in the Aussie dollar.
The Courier Mail reports that New South Wales police have been sent to the Queensland border to stop bikies heading south to escape the Campbell-Newman government's anti-gang laws.
The Herald Sun reveals some of the Victoria's worst sexual predators are reoffending at alarming rates after being released from a secret treatment centre.
In the Advertiser, victims and women's groups are calling for police to do more to enforce restraining orders.
The Canberra Times reports on moves by the Australian War Memorial to fend off a federal government push to take control of its private donations.
In the Daily Telegraph, Qantas and Jetstar have rejected claims by critics of a second Sydney airport at Badgerys Creek that they would not use the facility.
The Northern Territory News reports on 2 fatal accidents in the top end over the weekend.
And the West Australian talks to a school principal who has banned students from using mobile phones during breaks because constant texting means they're losing the art of conversation. Talk, don't text is the headline.
Good morning. Get ready for a mixed week on the satellite. We've got cloud in Victoria, South Australia and New South Wales. It's associated with a low and a trough, which is causing patchy rain and the odd thunderstorm. But the low combining with a high pressure system is making it a stormy start to the week for Sydney. This morning's downpour has given the observatory 28 millimetres in just over an hour. The cloud coverage is also lowering the levels of smoke. The trough is also whipping up stronger northwesterly winds. Now, this will become a concern for firefighters in New South Wales, mainly from this afternoon, but particularly tomorrow as the gusty wind shifts southerly, then southeasterly. Elsewhere, low-pressure troughs are also causing rain and thunderstorms over the top end and throughout central parts of Western Australia. But for Queensland today, severe fire conditions for the southwest due to fresh and gusty westerly winds. These winds will combine with a very dry, hot air mass, isolated afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms from the northwest down towards the southeast interior. Brisbane's top 27 degrees. In New South Wales, total fire ban for areas of the Riverina, hot in the northwest with strong winds to the west of the Divide, getting up to 37 degrees in Bourke. Showers mainly falling in the southeast and possible storms in the northeast this afternoon, 23 degrees in Sydney. Victoria, a fine day in the northwest but patchy rain across the rest of the state. East to northeasterly winds will shift southwest to southerly. In Tasmania, isolated showers this morning in the north becoming more widespread throughout the afternoon. Light to moderate westerly winds and you'll note a warm day for Hobart, 20 degrees. In South Australia, rain and isolated thunderstorms will clear this morning from the southeast, but showers will persist about the coast. Western Australia, the odd storm about the Gascoyne and Goldfields, also the interior. A very warm night, currently at 17 degrees in Perth, heading for a top of 30. Severe fire conditions across areas of the Kimberley, with showers and thunderstorms extending into the Pilbara. For the Northern Territory, gusty storms to the north of Elliot. Tomorrow we'll have thunderstorms in Brisbane, windy with showers in Sydney, a top of 20 degrees, and partly cloudy in Adelaide, 21.